Hey guys, this is Diana Ballard, and welcome to the Mom Training Podcast, where we discuss the skills and strategies to create possibilities in motherhood and make it more fun, efficient, organized, and peaceful. You can find more information or connect with me online at dianaballard.com or at Diana Ballard Live on social media. So here on the Mom Training Podcast, we talk a lot about creating our lives. Each mom's passions, dreams, and goals are going to be different. You may or may not identify yourself as a goal setter, bucket list person, but I believe that every person wants something or is working towards goals if they realize it or not. So as we talk about some different dreams, goals, and desires, think about how you could compare it to your own life and what you truly want. So goal setting and achieving definitely changes when becoming a mom, meaning our ability, energy levels, timeline, expectations, and responsibilities, they change. We may find ourselves not running at the same pace as we were before in certain areas, side businesses, social interactions with others, steady exercise routine, community involvement, time to pamper ourselves, time with our spouse. Some of these things may look a little different than they have before. And it takes some extra creativity to figure out how to do some things that we love while having a family and keeping them as a priority. We also have to remember that having and raising a family is accomplishing something and is important. If we're not careful, a lot of times family can be seen as a burden instead of a blessing. Now, I believe that is a mindset that has been sold to us and is not really truth. Family life can be what we want it to be. Again, many of us might have longed for family life. Others may have not so much. Either way, we may or may not enjoy it as much as we wish we could. But part of a healthy mindset in a family life can be remembering that this organization, our family, has the potential to be one of our biggest gifts and accomplishments if we can learn to create it that way. So let's talk about how we can do that as we have desires, goals, and dreams that we want to accomplish. First bit of mindset training is timing. Timing in the sense that we need to trust the timing and that things may take a little longer than they would have if we didn't have a family. Like, for example, for me, I can't stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning anymore working on a project or developing a passion. Nope. I can't be at every meeting, conference, or opportunity that I find. I can't always keep my commitments when something comes up, like a sick child, choosing between an event with my husband or something for work. I can't expect myself to have the same amount of clarity and focus when I'm up half the night with a nursing baby. My ability to do certain things has changed. Now, does that mean I still can't be a part of things, expand my passions, and grow as a person? No, not at all. But there are circumstances that just have changed and how I need to do things. But achieving things during these times are still possible. I just might be a little slower than if I didn't have all the responsibilities of a family. Now, for some personalities, the idea of having anything slow us down or getting in our way is fighting words, right? But we need to remember that we are accomplishing a ton by raising our family alone. And it's a gift to have a family because some people can't and may never have the opportunity. And even though we have a good handful of things already on our schedule, we are capable of figuring out how to accomplish more by increasing our skill and refining our priorities. And by keeping our families a priority, it'll bring us the most fulfillment in the end. So timing. Honoring where we are now and letting things come in their own time as we diligently work towards something. This doesn't mean that we don't push ourselves, our comfort zones, or, get past our excuses, but that we are allowing ourselves to be in the moment and enjoy it as much as possible while we continue working. Now, does that mean we won't have moments of freak out or wanting to quit because it seems like it's taking forever or it'll never come? This is when I especially struggle with pregnancy. For some reason, once I hit the last couple months of pregnancy, I have to be super careful not to self-sabotage my success and everything I'm working on because for some reason it feels like the end will never come, which it always has, but still, timing can be challenging even if we know deadlines are for sure coming. There have been many times in our life, single, with no children, or having a family where goals have taken way longer to achieve than we first expected or wanted. And the main thing that's made any of them happen is just not quitting and continuing to work on them. If we throw in the towel, stop focusing on something, or try to mess up all of our progress, we might not get what we've been working on so diligently for. And then that starts a whole new cycle of feeling like things aren't going to happen, despair, this isn't working anyway, and it wastes a lot of time. So those moments are going to happen no matter what. Yeah, like even with prevention, increased skill sets, whatever. But the goal is to shorten the moments that feel like that. And go back to trusting the timing, trusting the process, and continuing to work towards something. And by doing so, the things we want will truly come. So one tip that we can work on to help with the timing and make our goals a reality is making sure that we set aside time each week to work on what's important to us. So, mama disclaimer, even if we set aside time, it will have resistance and be challenging to keep the commitments we set for protecting the time with sick kiddos, other responsibilities, or just being stinking exhausted. I mean, it happens, but it's in the continual effort of adjusting, protecting our time, setting aside that time, and working for it that helps us get there. So for a couple examples, it could be taking better care of our body, setting aside some time to exercise, meal plan, or food prep. And I know it's easier said than done, like especially as moms, self-care is a constant choice and effort. For me, like hiring someone once a week to help me with food prep, like helps me organize my meals, and it only costs me $20 a week for the 2 hours that she comes. It's like heaven on earth. It is amazing. Like we work together, we just knock a bunch of stuff out. It's awesome. Which if you meal plan on a budget, you might even be able to save yourself that $20 and, to hire the help that you need. Or, getting a gym membership that has kid care and setting a weekly routine of what times and days you go. That helps me immensely, and my exercise is more consistent, and I push myself more in that environment at the gym. So when can we set aside some time for our health? Or, it could be working on a passion or side project or business. Can one night a week be set aside where the husband puts the kids to bed, or you go someplace that you can focus, hire a babysitter, or have a protected evening where we don't watch TV or get on social media and we focus on creating and building that goal? How could we set aside a routine time where we could work on something important to us? It could be working towards buying a home, getting out of debt, learning how to cook, having a romantic relationship be more harmonious. For each of these things, we'll have to put aside time, effort, and energy to make these things happen. And yes, we know that we have to wait and the right timing will come, but that doesn't mean we sit around not working or moving forward. Part of the divine timing for things is us putting forth the work and effort to bring it to pass. Like we can't just sit on our couch and expect a book to be written, money to be put in the bank, trips to plan themselves, house to be organized, our spouse to show us some extra attention, all the logistics to be laid out. We got to put in some work to see these things come into our lives. It's kind of like baking a cake, that there are certain ingredients that need to be in the cake to make it a cake, right? We can't leave out the flour, the eggs, the baking powder, things like that, and expect it to be a cake. Now, there are hundreds of different types of recipes and cakes and whatever else. Baking times are different heats, times in changing altitude. I mean, baking your life cake doesn't have to be exactly like anyone else's. Your own flavor, shape, size, decorated differently. I mean, the options are endless, but what you do have to do is make the cake. You have to get up, gather the ingredients, put it all together, and follow directions about how to do so, what temperature, and for how long it needs to cook. And again, to know these things for certain goals, it's finding someone who has what you want in the area of your life and doing what they do. That's your recipe. So let's get up, ladies, take courage for the things we're working for, continue putting the pieces together, and have patience in the baking process and the timing as we watch everything come together and our goals to be accomplished. We can do it, mama. Share this with another mama who may be struggling with timing and with goals, and we'll see you next week on the Mom Training Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mom Training Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would so appreciate a rating and review from you on any platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or podcast ideas, you can message me on my social media at Diana Ballard Live or shoot me an email on my website. See you next week.